welcome back to the channel. I'm Jimmy. We're gonna spend a day in the shop making it work. That's what we do. Oh, except in this Nissan, I put that salvage engine in, or I don't know if it was a reman from something. No, it's a salvage engine, but it's no good. It got rod knocked. Anyway, my wife's surgery went well. Thanks for the well wishes on that. We got that insurance thing worked out, we think. We might get a bill, I don't know. But it was a bunch of phone calls and complaining, whining, as some people might call it, to get it done and to get the insurance to say we would be good after 3 o'clock. So her procedure was after 3 o'clock. I don't know how they cut it down to the wire like that, but you guys know the deal. I told you a little bit about it already. But she's got her second eye done. Seems to be doing well so far. Hasn't been 24 hours yet, but looks pretty good. So anyway, what we're really here for is to try to get some of these cars out of here. Some of them have been here a little while. It's still reality, and we do reality YouTube here. We don't do the, you know, taking corrupted Lamborghinis over to Car Wizard to get content. We actually do real things. We help people for real. We fix cars for real, get people back on the road and earn a living doing it. And we happen to make videos about it. So if you're new here, now you know the deal. I gotta finish getting this place opened up because we're gonna hop in there, learn a thing or two, have some fun, and probably get that Nissan Titan done among some other things that I put in right here. Every traverse. So hope what you saw in those clips makes it worthwhile hanging around. Let's fix some cars. Stay tuned. All right, guys, where we left off in the last episode, we were doing the power steering hoses and the oil cooler. If you remember, the oil cooler was wrong, so we're getting the kit that has, apparently Nissan's had 4 revisions on these oil coolers. So the kit we're getting this time has the bolt and oil cooler and the 2 hoses all in one. So if anything's slightly different, it'll be an update and you just change everything. The power steering lines are nice, they're out of the way with the cooler and the filter and all that out. That helps. But Nissan's got these crazy contraptions all over the place. Some of these you have to get a catch to release to get them apart. This one has a bolt. So what I'm going to do is just take those brackets off. I was thinking about assembling it on the workbench and then trying to put it back in the way I took it out, but it was kind of a hassle to fit everything out. There's not a lot of room. So I think it looks easier to me to do the pressure line first because it's behind, and then do the return line second, and then I'll slip these brackets in here, and maybe by then the oil cooler will be here. It's supposed to be here this morning, so we'll see. Let's get these brackets off of here. 10 on the, and this one is barely caught on a little clip right here. I don't know if that shows up, but screwdriver in there should pop that loose. I'm gonna clean all this stuff up so it's less messy going back together. Put this up here first. This up here second. I'm gonna let it down and hook up the clamp to the reservoir just so I know everything else is in the right place. Get this over here. It goes like this. And there's a bracket that goes on the line down on the frame rail too. I think I'll do that next. There it is. Man, that clamp's got some beef to it. It's the Brian Shaw of hose clamps. That's where my bolt and my bracket go for the return line. Now, feed this one up here to my power steering pump and get that bolted onto the pump. And then the bottom section is 2 pieces. I'm going to leave this loose until I get this in the rack. Got a new O-ring on there and cool stuff like that. Man, that's like wrestling gators trying to get that thing in there. Gracious goodness. Nissan. It's a 15/16. And You want to tighten that thing pretty good. It's like a, not quite like a brake hose, but it's close. Almost as much pressure. Nipple's got to go in that little bracket. That keeps it from turning when you tighten it, I suppose. We talked about it on the last Nissan, I guess. I'm not really happy with the way these are sitting right now, but I'm going to get these lower brackets on. And if we have to, we'll tweak this a little bit or something, make sure they're not rubbing. It's aftermarket stuff, so it's basically when they make it, they go, that's close enough. Now, we got to get that line in that hole, and we'll tighten that up. Then we'll start putting the brackets in, I think. We got a plan. That's what really matters. It's definitely one of those start it by hand moments. It's a struggle, especially with a camera in your hand. You gotta flip the guys upside down. Flip the people, like Morgan & Morgan says, for the people. Jimmy says, flip the people. He was mad about my lighting, that's why I wouldn't go in. It's got to be completely, perfectly straight, but it ain't. Now we're getting somewhere. Listen here, man. This one is probably only 12, 14 foot-pounds. I just do them by feel. I don't torque these. You gotta do a lot of math. Get a torque wrench extension. Uh-oh. Someone lit up one. Someone's killing a skunk. I mean, literally, it smells like someone killed a skunk. Probably hit one out in the road. Alright. Just a little O-ring you're trying to compress, and you don't want the fitting to loosen up, that's all. Bill, what the hell, man? Alright. Now I gotta tighten this one. This is a 7/8 or so, I think. And I'm trying to keep this where I think it's gonna go in the brackets. This is a little higher than this is low for the filter. It's a pretty complicated setup for a big truck. You'd think they'd have a lot of room, but I guess not. Alright. That one's in there. This is the one that supports that little funnel. This is tight and not quite lined up. I don't want them to rub, so you got to push that forward so that this isn't rubbing these fittings here. One more bracket, and it's held by this, I believe. I don't think that should be so crooked either. I might have to bend that flat so both of these are parallel. And it gets the ugly bracket. This one's got some serious issues. This one is dancing alone at the prom. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I gotta bolt the clamp together on the lines and then find those holes in the back down underneath the rack. I'm thinking it's gonna be easier to bolt the bracket to the frame if this will fit in here. The engine's kind of in the way. I might have to get my stubby, my shorter one, I guess. I'm thinking it's going to be easier to bolt that to the frame before if I tighten this bolt in the clamp, then I can't have any wiggle room, right? What do you guys think? You know what I need? An extension. It's been a couple days since I took it apart. I don't remember. This is for the oil filter cooler, oil cooler dealio. Where did I put the extension? You guys hide it? There it is. Oh my goodness. I know it fits. It came out, right? It's not easy with one hand. I'm trying to impress you guys. It's not working. We'll be alright. We're going to go to a shorter extension. Maybe that's what I used last time. It's all coming back to me now. Now the only battle is getting this clamp wrapped around the rubber and flat enough now to get the bolt back in here. And there. Could not get that little bolt started. It's so tiny. I could not, for the life of me. I tried for like 10 minutes. I didn't make you watch the whole thing. So I went to a slightly longer bolt, and that little bit of difference made it happen. And it's not going to go anywhere. It doesn't hit anything. Doesn't have to be so short. But boy, that's a tight squeeze, because you got to actually compress the rubber to get the bolt started. I gotta see if the oil cooler's here yet. This is all tight. I got my rack fitting. Should be good with all that. Oh, look what just came in. Isn't that nice? They got me the bolt. Look at that. A little bit can really mess up your day. They said the hose was different too, but I mean, I'll put it on, but it's not different. It is not swollen. Although this is, yeah, this is like machined that way or something. Anyway, I'm gonna put it on. Has a gasket, and they brought me a gasket, but I'd rather have two than none. Should go like that. We should be in business. Once I get this done, then I can carry on with some of the other things I need to do, like the cabin filter and that actuator for the AC, if you saw the other video. Let's see here. There you go. There's a little notch in here. It's got to line up. Let me get the torque wrench. 36 foot-pounds. Boom. It's a heck of a squeeze. The clamp and the hose are like the same size. And this one we're going to change. I went ahead and let the coolant out. We're going to put new coolant in it and stuff too. They're going for full-on new car status. Get this to break loose. A little bit of threatening. A stern stare. It'll come right off there. Let's see here. You and you. This is supposed to be a better hose, but boy, it's a tight fit. There it goes. That's what we were hoping for. One more clamp. Since I got these out, might as well. It's a little overkill, but we're all about overkill on this channel. Anything for entertainment. I don't want to set the internet ablaze, but I pre-filled the filter a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't set the comments on fire. There you go. Might get a little drip out of any oil that kind of splashes like that. Coming out while you're screwing on a pre-filled filter will make it look like it might be leaking, so you got to be careful with that. Last thing you want to see drips coming down in this pan, you're not sure what's going on. That's also why I pre-filled it like 75% of the way. I didn't try to get oil all the way up in it. But at least it won't be bone dry when we fire it up. I'm going to give this a once over. We're going to let it down. Get coolant, and we've already got oil. You just got to make sure it's full. It's got brand new oil in it. Pull the old coolant out of the overflow too. Get some fresh coolant. I got power steering fluid. I filled it a while ago and just let it gravity bleed. It'll kind of get most of the air out. Get my coolant bottle. We'll get this thing filled up. I bet you it's about a quart low on oil. I want to say half. So we'll fire it up first and then make sure we get the oil level full. got plenty of oil for startup. Put some in the overflow first. It's vacuum filling into the radiator from there, like gravity filling. That's fine, we'll take it. Probably take another half a gallon. Once more. Gravity check. Oh, now we're getting close. Time to fire it up. Let it run a couple minutes. Well, I'm going to take a quick look underneath, make sure nothing's pouring out the bottom. Then we'll let it run a couple minutes and warm up. So far, so good. Then we'll back it up, get that actuator in that we took out the other day, and a cabin filter. This thing will be done. I think we got approval on that Traverse from last week with the radiator, water pump, serpentine belt. If you remember that one, he had me check for a brake issue and then check the horn and stuff. So we got approval on that. I think parts are rolling in for it. So we're going to button this up, and then we'll be starting on that one next. I gotta get the front wheels on, a little torque action, splash shield. I rinsed everything off. That thing was a mess, full of dirt and gravel and oil all mixed together. Makes for quite a concoction. We'll get that back in place. If you didn't see this other video, first of all, second of all, 229,753 durable miles. All right, let's get the old AC actuator in there. This has flats on it that you got to line up with the door. An electrical connector. And we'll see if I can get all this chubbiness up in here. I think I can. Not that big yet. Working on it, but not yet. I think this goes like this. A little easier to plug in with it off. And then the door's right here. Some screws. These just go into plastic, so I'm not as scared to start them with power tools. Oh, now it's really hard to see what's going on. There it is. Uh-oh. Am I guessing wrong? It's hard to see. You guys see it? Yeah, I'm in the right place. What are my problems? What are my problems? Let me list them for you. Where the heck? Alright, everybody calm down. Let's regroup. There you go. Flashlight oriented correctly. We're going to get this bolt in here. There it is. Now, that's nice. That is nice. You put something in, you put the bolts in, nice and smooth, everyone's happy. Where'd it go? Now I gotta go find out where the cabin filter procedure looks like on this thing. Ah. Uh-oh. Oh, I think I see it over there. It's got an 8mm holding the cover on, if you can see it. We'll get this glove box out of the way. Alright, 8mm for that guy. The other direction. Come and make. Did I put a cabin filter in this one already? Oh, nope. It looked familiar, but oh, you know why? That other Nissan Titan, I did a cabin filter and a power steering hose on. That's why it all feels familiar. We're gonna get this out of here, slide it sideways. Because Nissan said, you know what? We'd rather make it in 2 halves and give you room to put it in and out. CarQuest, you know what's good? Premium. Couldn't put it on the box if it wasn't. I know when I raced RC cars a lot, we used to, everything was extreme hobbies, extreme racetrack. But for the automotive, it's premium. Play-by-play action. One side, push it all the way over. Make sure your airflow arrows are facing towards your airflow direction you prefer. Look at that thing. Can you believe it? How easily you can take something with 230,000 miles on it and make it just like a brand new car. You can't see this third hook inside here. You got to get it hooked on the top of that. The harness is definitely in the way. There it goes. You can feel the little feet sticking out of the top of the lid. Oh, now I got to reverse it again. Every time I take a bolt in or out, I got to go a different direction. Flip this glove box up. This thing's ready for a road test. Nothing's leaking. Everything's looking good. Already torqued the wheels. I don't think I filmed it because it's just about lunchtime. I'm trying to get this thing done for him. He's been waiting a few days. Look at old Snap-on trucks here. I asked Bill when he went by, you gonna go in a Snap-on truck? He goes, no, I go in the Amazon truck. I don't think they have a tool truck yet, but I bet you they'd sell tools if they did. They'd have to charge a lot more because it's expensive running a truck. Anyway, you might remember this Chevy Traverse. I think it's a 2015 or 2017 or something like that. I think originally I looked at it like a week or two ago or something. It takes a couple weeks for stuff to happen sometimes. 2017, 112,000 miles. This is the one the radiator's leaking. The water pump shows traces of leaks. He said do that too, which kind of surprised me, but it's good. Because it does look like it's leaking probably intermittently at this point, and it'll be leaking a lot more soon. So chances are you fix the radiator, and then next week or two you got to do the water pump. Anyway, pretty clean car, nice inside. It's a lift car. We're going to also do a lift inspection. Got a lift inspection we got to do. We'll fill that out, start tearing this apart. I'm going to get the grill out of here. It looks like you can unbolt this cross member to get the radiator out. I think the parts are here for this too. And then the water pump. Ooh, that's a little. You take the front motor mount out, I believe, to do this water pump. Been a little while since I did one of these. We'll figure it out, I think. If worst case scenario, I'll just ask a question and you guys will tell me in the comments. That's all. Ooh, that's a big old heavy tire for an SUV. I don't really have to take the tires off, but I'm gonna, just for fun. I gotta take the front bumper's gotta come off for this old girl. Looks like someone's gone out of their way to make it convenient for me by leaving some of the push pins and stuff out. Got all my grill screws out of here. Got to find out what's holding it around the perimeters and pull it off of there. I think there's some torque keys. They didn't leave all the screws out for me. Some of you might remember, I looked at it last week. I said, it's got good brakes. I don't understand what its problem is. Brand new brakes. But the shim's not really in place. I don't ever like using those shims. Let's do this, see what happens. It's supposed to be hooked on top so it doesn't let it do that, but anyway, I'm gonna get these out of here. There's gonna be a few screws along the bottom, maybe a couple of electrical connectors. When I get this out of the way, there's some, oh, there it is, 7mm holding the fender and the bumper together. And then there'll be like pull snaps around the rest. 10 out of here, a couple Torxters, and I'll take the wheel liner out, but just gonna get it out of my way. Something like this with the bungee assistant. Now I can look around, see if there's connectors. See that? I gotta get that connector up here. There's one up there that goes over to the washer bottle, which is not going to come off with the bumper, but all those lights go through that one connector. There'll be one on each side. Then I think we'll be ready to pop this off of there. One of those. Why does it feel like there's something holding it there? That's weird. Wires hooked together, even though they're disconnected, they still don't want to separate. Been together so long, I can't blame them. Just like my wife and I, when we were at the eye doctor yesterday and she's getting her surgery, I said, Doc, don't make her eyes too good. She'll get a good look at me and leave me. He started laughing, and my wife said, he's gonna be here all night. That's why we've been together so long. She gets me. I'm going to put some penetrant oil on here because I see a little bit of rust action going on. This car must be from up near Canada or something. Won't take much. I just want to try to keep any, I think those are like a 6mm fine thread, a 6mm medium thread, and I don't want them to break coming out. This pops off here. It pops off the radiator and then lifts out the bottom, I think. But I don't see. It's usually a channel it sits on. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's like a tab sticking out of there. This tab here is the other side of it. So, and this, of course, this is what manufacturers like to do. They got these one-time use clips that hold this plastic and rubber piece as an air deflector to force air to go through the condenser and radiator. And you have to break them to get them off. I hope the radiator comes with 4 of them, because it's probably going to be 2 over here. Yep. Oh, 1. There's 3. And I think a trim stick will do the trick. Sometimes you can get these to flip out the other way and get them off and then pop them back on, if that makes sense. And sometimes they break. We'll see what happens first. I'm not going to be too terribly gentle because 75 out of 80 times they'll break. That's the odds I'm playing. Now that I've lifted them up a little bit, I'll try this. I don't know if it'll fit in there. Yeah. There's too damn much positivity again on this channel. I thought for sure this tool would fit in there. Look at that. I might even be able to reuse it. It ain't too pretty. But I just need to hold that rubber piece on there. Really? That easy? That PV blaster stuff's phenomenal. That threads are pretty rusty. Get them right out. What's the big deal? I'm already getting a new car smell. It's way too soon. You don't know how to modify that, man. Looks like a big old chicken wing.
Like Jimmy when he got that GM part, it was all broken.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Good.
crazy.
Fuck bad parts, you're just talking about broke shit.
When I figured out when I put it on, I know how some are broken.
Oh, well.
If you put, I put the top bolt in because it'll help me line up the bottom bolt because the frame is like right there and there's a wire harness.
Good.
So I'm like prying the wire harness, pulling the engine over, and trying to get the bolt in, and I use that bolt to help me line it up. So if you're not careful, you pull in that tension, it'll crack that. It's so thin at the top,
shit.
it just cracks. So someone broke it, put it back in the box. And got another
Defect, wrong part.
yeah, defect.
Boxed it wrong, oh well.
Now, I'm gonna squeeze this here. Are you kidding me? As Rob would say, come on with it. I just talked to Rob and Katie the other day, if you want, for anyone who misses them like I do. They're doing good. They are doing good. And I am doing good. Everyone is doing good. Yay! Let's all do good together. I thought it was going to lift right up. I thought wrong. Let's try this. Something's not right. I'll figure it out. I'm going to take a few more things out of the way. This being one of them. I think I got to take this whole bumper brace out because this plastic channel traps the condenser. It's also push pinned into the radiator. I know it sounds silly. Believe me now and believe me later, or something like that. There's a push pin right there and a push pin there, and I'm not sure where else. And it's kind of trapped here too. I can kind of get it off and it keeps popping back on. So let's stop fighting it. Just take some stuff out of the way. Make it easy, less stressful. Even if it takes a few more minutes, it'll be less stressful. Alright, I'm going to take this off. There's a 10, and then there's 4 15s. A few push pins. Might as well. I'm guessing this little 10 is like an alignment thing or something. I don't know. A lot of stuff going on.
Are you serious?
Now look how that turned out.
I didn't think that would move that easily. I learned something today. Stuff moves easier than you think. Sometimes. You don't need to go too far with it. Well, it's just rusty. You can see where the ambient air temp sensor went? Alright, you guys see that ambient air temp sensor? Let me know. It went flying. I'll find it. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here. This thing's like 6.5 hours labor in the labor guide. That's crazy. That's good though, because it'll take less than that, but it still does take some time, and a lot of this stuff is intertwined. I probably should just discharge this and take it out, but I don't really want to. If I can do it without doing that, that's what I'm going to do. Upper hose is off. Gotta get this fan assembly out of here, but if I can get these cooler lines out, and the lower hose is right there. Right, here you go. Oh, the lower hose is right there. Then I can take the fan assembly off, put it out of the car. Now, I do have the tools for releasing these, but as you guys might know, if you watched a while, you've been hanging out with me a while. Putting a new radiator in, and I've got plenty of these clips if it does go flying away. But I just pop the clips out like this. Just pop it out of there, and then the line will come out way easier than sitting there fumbling with the tool. I've spent 5 or 10 minutes trying to pop it out with a tool, and you got to catch these 3 just right. And it does work, but this seems easier. Now, this should come out. Should come out. Oh, I did find the ambient air temp sensor, by the way. I had started to unplug it, and then that one bolt let it come loose, and I forgot that I didn't finish unplugging it. So there it is. Glad I didn't I'm glad I didn't look for it for like 10 minutes, because that would have been a waste of time. I might have looked at it for 10 minutes, basically. Looked for it for 10 minutes. Did not find it. Until just now. Yeah, that doesn't come off of there. Forget it, we need a new one. The lengths I'll go through to avoid evacuation and recharge. One rubber grommet stuck on the radiator. You can see the bracket has that one. It doesn't have that one, so we're going to have to fish that out. Yeah, I was wondering if I can get to any of the water pump stuff. Doing the radiator, nope. Alright. I think these are 10s. The bottom just sits in a little slot. There's also a little torque screw here and a little torque screw here. And this was the piece of plastic, if you saw the other video. I saw a piece of plastic stuck in there. I couldn't tell what it was because you can't see in there the way it's buried in this car. But that's no good. So let me let them know. We either need the fan blade or a fan assembly, depending if they sell it separate or not. That's a bummer. I knew there had to be some kind of a reason, but this is what you got to do to see better. They just brought me some hoses. We're doing hoses too. And while I got the radiator out and we're waiting on a fan, might as well pop some hoses in this bad Johnny. Yeah. I call it Bad Johnny because my younger brother's name's Johnny, if anyone's wondering. Ugh. Tell you what, that's the way to do them. Now I gotta make sure this hose is correct. It looks right. I glanced at it earlier. Look at that thing, perfect. I'm not sure if this comes off. It feels like it's glued in here. Yeah, this thing's glued in here, that's a shame. I really wanted to take it off and put it on the other one. There's nothing that really rubs in there that's terrible. We gotta do what we gotta do in this world. I'm gonna get this clamp. Sometimes these squeeze clamps, because the rubber is always a little thicker. Aftermarket hose is just not quite ever exactly right. I get that in there. Yeah, see, it's not gonna fit on. Not going to fit on too good, so what I'll do is put this on the neck first, then we'll try to get it on there a little easier without having to go over the pump in the tube. If this snaps apart, it's going to sting, so keep that in mind. I'll get one of these. Let's see here. Make sure it's in the right place. I prefer to use a hose tool. This one, change order, which is good because this one actually comes close to that upper bracket. It faces this way. Bless you. Gotta take this fuse panel out of the way so I can take the motor mount out of the way so I can get to the water pump. Someone's done some custom wiring and been in here recently. It's all right. We're still gonna make it work. Put that out of my way a little better. That was the first part. Now I'm starting to wonder, did I ever do one of these? I don't even remember this. This is a little bit of a catastrophe, I gotta say. Not sure what GM's thinking. Maybe they're not thinking. Alright. Oh, look at this. It separates. Ha! Never mind. They're genius. This has to go down. Let's see if there is a catch on it. Oh, looks like something's in there. Let's see. There's a little catch inside here. I think it'll let me separate them. Aha, no catch. Now, it'll let me pull these off to the side, and pull this one off to the side, along with all the custom aftermarket wiring we've done. And I can get that aluminum tray out of there, I think. Oh, look at this. There's some more bolts over here. Oh, it wasn't tight. Whatever they wired in couldn't have been working too good. They had this for positive. They had this squeezed in between the battery cables. So I'll probably change that over to a nice, correct size eyelet for them, because I'm cool like that. So this is a ground. Also, an open connector in an engine compartment. I might have mentioned it a time or two. Not a good idea. Oh, that's not really tight either. That's all right. Let me tight when we're done. Not much I know. Getting close to the end of the day. Don't give up yet though, but close. That's out, that's out. And now that's out. That is a thing of beauty.
Ask Joe.
Now I can see the motor mount and stuff, but we are starting to close up now, so I'm getting a little sad, but it is what it is. We got a lot done today, so it was a productive day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you'll torque the like button before you head out. Subscribe if you're new. The channel's growing fast. We've had the best month in subscribers in about 2 years. Really glad. Appreciate that support. More than anything, I hope I see you in the next one. You're awesome.